On to case number 2 of this 3 hobby case break of Top Series 1.
The sanctions over the last couple of years with USC, that this was the opportunity for other Pac-12 teams to try and narrow the gap a little bit. Certainly with UCLA, the enthusiasm brought on by Jim Moore and his staff, they were able to have some success on the field, which led to success in recruiting, and I think that's continued to snowball. Now that SC's back up to full scholarship complement, and Coach Guardi and I talked about this for a couple of years, down on the West Coast, and you get a great player out there. The difference on the sections was that you couldn't get all of them. But the ones that they did get, like an Adore Jackson, like a Juju Smith, like a Nelson Aguilar, or Marquise Lee, those guys needed to be marquee guys. You couldn't have guys not pan out because you couldn't afford to with smaller numbers. 9 of the top 17 prospects in the state of California headed to USC to join the men of Troy. Also in the Pac-12, but a nice day for the Pac-12. They're in a wild card. Calling in the top 40 classes, Keenan Walker, offensive tackle, injuries. He got under on the All-American practices, continues to rehab. Hopefully he'll be ready to play soon. One of the fine tackles in high school football. Let's welcome in the head coach of Arizona, Rich Rodriguez. And coach, coming off a 10-win season, we've seen translated to recruiting process.
I think it certainly helped us. I think probably our staff would tell you it'll give us more of a bump next year than this year because almost all of our class was already committed before the season was even over. But nonetheless, we thought we had a really good class, got more athletic, got a little faster on defense, got some big guys, and as every coach in America can tell you, I know this is a good day for us, but we had no drama whatsoever today, and that's the first time I can ever remember not having any drama on sign day, so it was a fun day.
All the faxes are in, the fax machine worked, everything's good. 3 of your top 4 INT getters are gone, including Jordan Grandin. How do you feel you short up that secondary with this class?
Well, we got some guys at mid-year, a couple transfer guys, a gray shirt guy, and we're making some moves within our roster too. Some guys on offense move over to defense because we've got to,
Hit 56 that I see now. First pitch. So 56 would be 1.
With some of the moves, some of the guys we signed this class, well, at least we'll have the bodies there.
About 165 to 170 when it's all said and done. Should make about 10 sets, so that's not a bad thing.
As you know, not all about stars. Scooby Wright, Adam Solomon, certainly paying big dividends there in the desert. Rich Rodriguez, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Oh,
It's been a nice day.
okay. I'm back. I don't know what happened there.
Again, USC and
Box number 1.
leading the way, combined 26 of the top ESPN 300 prospects out of their combined 43 prospects. Holly Rose standing by with one.
Oh, you guys heard that? I said I had 56 of the first pitch, so it means 56 of most of the inserts. 55 to 60 of those. Some of them a little bit stronger, some of them a little bit weaker. But
I feel blessed, that Coach season
A lot of guys are announcing their signings today, but you're already here. You just got out of a computer class. What kind of head start with you to already be here on campus?
Really, give me a real good feel for the academics, fill me up. They put me in some classes that, they're going to challenge me, but they're not too hard, give me some college. And, of course, I get to get in the weight room and work out for a couple months. So.
Offensive line is a position that had some really young guys last year, and they're trying to find their way and get better. How can you contribute right away in your mind?
I'm just going to go in and try my hardest, get them ready. If it's not a starting position, help them out in practice. If it's a starting position, get ready to play on Saturday.
All right. I know you've been in the computing class. You want to be an app developer here at USC, so why was this the best fit for you?
Really because California, it's a great spot for
All right. Offensive lineman creating apps and creating habits for USC, one of the top recruits in the country. She might be joking.
So I knew you were standing in college. I'm taking some classes. Apps went around though. No, you were talking about the class. No, yeah. I took the advanced economics. USC again, one of the top classes in all the land. One of those classes that we said beforehand. Watch out for USC. They were on the cusp of the top 5. Now they're on the cusp, right there in the top 3. And it begins really with Iman Marshall, the #1 quarterback. Had to wait till the latter part of the day, at least on the East Coast, but certainly he was worth the win.
Again, the focus on premium positions. The corner on the perimeter, certainly on the defensive front. We've seen it now in the offensive line. Holly Rhodes is talking to Jim Odoga. This is a big pickup, kind of the last piece of the puzzle for USC. A great pipeline there for Long Beach Poly, and this is a player that's big, physical, he can run. And on the perimeter, those are the types of players that you want. You've seen what some of the youngsters can do for USC, but when you consider Iman Marshall coming into the fold, SC's still going to have some depth issues. So Justin Wilcox, the defensive coordinator, Steve Sarkisian, had a lot of success with freshmen, putting him into roles a year ago. They're going to continue to do it, and that's why it's so critical that these types of players are available when you have the opportunity to bring them in to ease the transition to making that jump.
You said they've accrued, what, 9
2
of the
packs.
17 players there
Sorry,
in the state
2
of
gold
California. They've gone outside the
refractor
football.
or border cards, whatever.
USC does
Both
have
Lucas do.
scholarship restrictions. They're able to do that, maybe cast that wider net, and they did that with the #1 running back in the country, who's from the state of Texas, Ronald Jones the second time.
Yeah, I think Ronald Jones II brings them an element that they haven't had with Buck Allen, they haven't had with Justin Davis. He's a little bit more of that explosive Reggie Bush style of guy. He can cut, he can create in the backfield, he can make plays in the open field. In my opinion, he brings an explosive element to their backfield that they currently have had on the perimeter. And that is something that's going to give Cody Kessler and the rest of the offense, I think, some real opportunities in terms of big plays in the run game, big plays on the perimeter. He's a tremendous receiver in ball skills out of the backfield.
There's going to be an opportunity for some of these young guys at USC. I mean, you know it just by the numbers game alone. They're going to get time on the playing field, no matter what do they do with it. Buck Allen's gone. Nathan Aguilar gone. So there's some skill position sets there with opportunities. Now it's up to these young guys to get in there and learn as much as they can, as fast as they can, and try to make that impact.
USC has done a great job of signing difference makers.
Yeah.
Even when they had restrictions, they still signed 10 to 15 of the best athletes available. This year, we're 9 out of 17 at the top. I mean, they are doing a great job. Sarkisian and his staff are great recruits.
Ending it with Iman Marshall today out of Long Beach Poly. You mentioned the college football factory that is. 55 players from Long Beach Poly have gone on to the NFL. That's the most in high school football. You look at USC and what they have coming up this season. Yes, it's that time to start looking ahead to schedules. Here we see Stanford there on September 19th. You look at this schedule and what USC has coming back in. I think they have a big deal.
You know, I mean, they're going to play the Pac-12 schedule. It's going to be tough, but, you know, they got early off the bat to get some of those young guys against Arkansas State, Idaho, kind of get their feet underneath them, and then wham, then it hits you right there. Stanford out of Arizona State, Washington, Notre Dame, you get right into the thick of things. I think the most important thing is you get those young players in fire against some lighter opponents, so you get their feet wet, and then, you know, hopefully that transition's a little bit smoother.
That's good stuff. They play Stanford, Washington, Oregon. That's a lot of the, and Utah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think that's a tough schedule, and it's sort of low and loaded with Oregon and UCLA the last 2 games.
But look at some of the programs there with some quarterback issues. Oregon, Notre Dame, Oregon did happen as well. Again, USC ending the season as they typically do against UCLA. UCLA has won 3 straight in the series, and they won 5 big players today. Chris Clark, Soso Jamato, Joshua Boko. The list goes on in Westwood. What a day it was on NXT.
I guess it's time to announce where I'm going because that's what everybody wants to know. So I'm having my 2 hats and we'll place them out there, and I'll show you my 2 top schools.
Hold up. I'll take it from here. The next 4 years, the school I'll be attending to get my degree and play college football is UCLA. I started over with my family, and I feel that UCLA is the best fit for me. Very happy to announce that I will be attending the University of California, Los Angeles.
First school was the University of California, Los Angeles. My second school was the University of California, Los Angeles.
I'll be attending the University of California, Los Angeles. What's up, baby?
That's what it is, and that's what we are. We both.
Jim Mora has to be thrilled with what's going on with his recruiting class.
I got a pink in box number 1.
And earlier, you
You saw
And it's another great player, Jared Sotomatachia.
May take him a lot longer to decide where he actually wants to go to school. Again,
One day I'll hit a good player with a good number.
Jeff Albert, there's talk out there he may join Dan Quinn there with the Atlanta Falcons, so we'll allow Roquan Smith to have some time there to make up his mind. But a guy who did not commit, just because you don't commit today doesn't mean you're not big news. Pocket passing quarterback. He had to love what he saw today. This isn't a skill position, but what is he going to do? Well, he's also stepping into a situation where if there's any quarterback that's coming into the game that might have an opportunity to play, there's obviously going to be open competition at UCLA. Josh Rosen is going to be more your quintessential pocket guy. He's got good enough pocket movement to buy a second passing chance, but he's going to be at his best anticipating, getting the ball out of his hands, working through progressions, taking what the defense gives him, and now he's in school early, so he's going to have an opportunity to get acclimated. And hey, listen, it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the quarterback position at UCLA. Going to Josh Rosen and you see Coco Dumavo, Joshua Boko, Chris Clark. You got a guard, you got an athlete, could be wide out running back, a tight end as well. What do you think?
You're loving it. Not only that, they've already got some solid weapons around them at UCLA. Jim Morrison doing a great job of bringing in talented players. And now you've got some young guys in your class that you can start building that rapport with early. Some playmakers. You have to love what you're watching.
In the end, where does Coach Dumavo want left foot? Yeah, to that running back, he would have been the number one running back. He's listed as an athlete.
Well, I think that he's got the ability to start off a running back, be a running back, but he's a very high-cut guy. He doesn't look like a running back in terms of build and measurables. And when you have that upright running style, you can take some direct shots. He's extremely elusive. He's very loose through the hips, and he's got great ball skills. So when you consider all the different ways you can employ a weapon on offense, you can use the jet sweep action, you can lope him into the backfield, run the ball with him, actually split him out wide, do some things in the passing game. That's really what makes him so special.
He doesn't look like the body style that can carry the ball 25 to 30 from the backfield. But you're right, motioning and bringing and using selectively when you want to hand the ball. Otherwise, throw it to him because he can't feel a high develop. An 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old young man, in 2 years, they could be a totally different body type with lifting, with nutrition, etc. So let's wait and see.
It's going to be interesting to see as well how top 15 wideout Cordell Broadus develops, announcing his commitment. Son of Snoop Dogg announcing his commitment to UCLA, the rival of his father's favorite school, USC. Tom, he's got a famous father. How much of it is hype? How much of it is this kid is really, really good?
I think you see here with some of the clips that we're showing you, he's a talented young man. He's going to be one of your bigger, more physical receivers, going to use his body, the wide catch radius. I don't know if he's ever going to be a guy at the next level that's going to take the top off of defense, or he's going to be able to create constant separation through just speed and quickness. But he knows how to use his frame. He's been well coached at one of the premier high school programs across the country. And I think the game's important to him. I think he's been raised with his father, with his family, to take the game seriously and to put an attention to detail and work ethic into his craft. So I think he enjoys the game, and it's going to be he reminds that earlier in the show today. It actually reminds me of Jordan Payton, the current UCLA wide receiver.
You have to size to play inside or outside as a receiver too. And he's got to catch the ball and make a tough catch. So I'd say that doubles his chances to play.
Certainly USC, UCLA,
Aaron.
subject of a lot of conversation, not only here, but in the Twitterverse, and some congratulatory tweets being sent out as to Snoop Dogg, Magic Johnson. Congrats to my man Snoop Dogg and his son Cordell, who is committed to play football at UCLA. And when it comes to UCLA and the season to come, beginning with Virginia, then UNLV and BYU. Non-conference, fairly challenging. Then the Territorial Cup foes in Arizona and Arizona State. Danny, you look at UCLA and the schedule and who they bring back. What do you think?
Yeah, this was a little challenging, especially the early start there. You know, Virginia and BYU, 2 out of those first 3 are going to be tough. Remember last year, the first game of the season, Virginia almost knocked them off. Their defense came to the rescue. So you're not going to have that luxury. You don't get the preseason. You try to schedule early, a little bit lighter opponents, but you don't have that luxury. And then throughout, I mean, I always feel, yeah, I mean, I always look at the schedule in the Pac-12, and I would say you can stack it up against any conference in the country. You are going to get tested week in and week out.
The rivals in the north are like California, Washington State, but still at this point some of the weakest schools.
Right.
But they're a pain. They're a hard out.
Stanford is going to run the ball, and Cal, yeah, watch it everywhere.
Figure it out.
Hey, quickly. USC, UCLA, two big events today in your career. You're buying stock in one of the programs for the next 4 years, the lifeblood of the recruiting class we saw today. Which program are you buying?
I would declare early.
Lovely box number one.
Year in, year out, because of where they are and the type of things that he can do.
Expectations are not very high right now.
Especially with the full complement of scholarships going forward.
Can change with one card in one box though.
Don't give them UCLA. Don't give them UCLA and USC. Say outside of those two, who's had a good day in recruiting? Okay, you asked that question to Dan. Yeah, Danny. I won't do that. Danny.
No, I think you look at these two though. I think one of the reasons I would pick USC too is you've got a quarterback, a veteran quarterback who's coming back, so he really knows how to utilize some of those weapons coming back into the program today.
Note to self. I'm going to give it up.
I think ASU's done a good job. I think U of A's done a good job. Oregon on the defensive side of the football brought in, I think, a difference maker.
Oregon has a good class. We haven't heard yet though. Have they gotten a quarterback transfer that can make a difference?
Recruiting every level of college football. FCS, he's from Washington. Vernon Adams, a lot of talk about him. What are the chances he winds up in?
Proven winner, and he's played against a Pac-12 competition. Beat Oregon State 2 years ago, almost beat Washington State last year. By the way, note to self: ask Tom Luganville more difficult.
Sounds weird.
I got a few more breaks.
I will be doing that throughout the rest of this 90 minutes here. On our National Signing Day special, we'll go to top five. Byron Cowell.
Maybe I give it a dual
Finally got the fax machine to work.
auto. Just looking at all the breaks on blowout and everybody hitting their big hits and their low numbered cards and I'm on this is the start of what will be my 5th hobby case of a Topps product, base product.
Quite the stir, though, with Byron Cowell.
And I haven't beaten the odds yet.
Of a very long day.
In other words, the odds are kicking my butt.
Auburn. They get the number one player in the country, number one defensive end. Good size and day, Byron Cowell. That letter hasn't arrived yet.
He has only signed one letter of intent, but there has been a misunderstanding. It hasn't gone through yet.
This was the color of my hair before I started coaching. Now
Here he is, it's Phil.
Yeah, it's getting worse. I went through this thing today and I think I lost some.
I salute you, your use of tough. We don't have a lot. Again, eventually, the national letter of intent goes through. How much of a, because we always search for red flags, I know you do too, yeah. But in terms of decision making, judgment, is today a red flag for Byron Cowell?
I think that would probably be maybe a bit unfair in the sense that I'm working with entire process, and now it actually comes time to do it. And you've got a lot of influences, a lot of voices, a lot of people tugging at you. Sometimes if what you've gone ahead and done, you've done it for a reason, and you've got to be able to be honest with that and realize this is the deal, and forget about all this other precedent that we don't get hit with.
it's the idea about buyer's remorse.
Right.
When I was recruiting, I used to tell kids when they were
Kershaw
tell
Gold.
somebody
See if I can do something a little better than that.
Right.
If you feel okay the next day, you find you made the right decision. I think he made that final decision and then said, is this really what I want to do? And I think when I heard him talk on air, he said the right things. He said, I'd go there if I didn't play football, I'd go to Muschamp leagues. It's about where I feel the best. And I said, wow, that sounds great to me. Now, he questioned himself later on, which means he hadn't really thought that thing out, I think, completely. He told me when he tougher questions. That was one. I think red flag is probably a little bit too hard to turn. Who knows? We don't know all the exact details of how much of this might have been coming from the people immediately surrounding him. That's why I think some of the best advice you can give these guys is make the decision, send the paperwork in, and then shut off your phone, shut off social media, enjoy with your family, walk away, and trust the decision you made.
Such a highly touted prospect, Byron Cowell, now headed to to Auburn. And let's bring in Mac Brown, who knows a thing or two about recruiting highly rated prospects who have dealt with the pressure of National Signing Day. Mac is former coach for Texas and North Carolina. How did you view what happened with Byron Coward today?
Well, I recruited 2 of those guys sitting on the set, and they were a pain. I mean, so let's don't start talking about other guys. I mean, Danny Canal, I mean, really. I mean, come on. Lucas Allen, I got all kinds of stories that we don't have time to get into.
Hey, Matt,
So
didn't you
those
recruit me
guys,
too?
yeah, those guys are talking about how unstable some of these prospects are. My gosh, they got short memories. I remember those things. You know, I haven't heard all the discussion, but to me, I used to think that when it was over, and I know Mike said the same, when it was over, you'd be so mad at some of them, you'd say, get the scholarship in, I don't want to talk to him anymore. I'm so tired of him. 3 years I've been recruiting that guy, and he nearly backed out on me today. I don't want to talk to him. My coach, he's on the phone. Hey, great job. I'm glad you're here. Now, get him off. Get him off. I don't think it has anything to do with how they will perform later. I had assistant coaches, and even as a head coach, I had really tough.
Oh yeah, there it is. Big hit. Edward Mujica Black.
And these guys are 17 and 18 years old. And they've got guys that are more experienced than them talking to them about how great they are.
Can I hit any more
one of the guys picked
$3 to $5 cards?
because they're telling them you're great, we can't do without you, you're the next this guy, you're the next that guy, you're an NFL guy, you're an All-American, we're going to play you in the first
What was
game.
nasty? Mujica? Gross.
Play 44 guys in the first game because he told everybody he's recruiting that they're going to play in the first game on the first snap. So I really believe that even the guys that weren't sure today, TV puts more pressure on them because thank goodness there is a signing day because some of them might wait another year and a half. But at least they have to do something today.
I pre-sold all the Soler and Baez for $1 each.
And I said earlier on the show, and I know we all agree with this.
Not all, but 20. 20 base of each for $1 each.
The situation is ethical to get him to come.
Oh yeah, I can't complain about that at all.
So difficult. So there's a lot of situation ethics out there today, and there were a lot of deals going on last night.
I'm sure those patches will get $5 to $8 each.
More difficult as well.
Certainly a lot of salesmanship going on there in the world of
The Yelich is a nice of 20.
About the de-recruitment phase.
Could definitely get a worse name with that. I don't know. I just want to hit one good name, low numbered card. I just never do.
Light bulbs of cameras and TV.
Well, I felt like when we got them here, we cut up all the stars and we put them in a big basket and we burned them. And we said none of those make any difference anymore. All of you are starting out as freshmen at the same place. You haven't accomplished anything in college. Everything you've accomplished has been against a 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-old. So you're starting out new and fresh. So let's get all the recruiting out and start from today. And the other thing is even about classes. The guys sitting there know that some of these guys won't even get in school. Some of them will go to junior college. Some of them will get in trouble. Some of them will flunk out. The class that makes it at the end will be the guys who have passion and do things right and end up.
Let me hit one of the numbered autos or the numbered
Better player 5 years ago,
patch cards. Something pretty cool.
That's what makes today a little.
I don't expect to. I never do.
I won today. I had a great day because that gets them off their back until the first game. And they'll all be happy. Man, we had a great recruiting class. I know that. We're going to be so good. Well, what happens with those recruits from now until their sophomore and junior and senior year is whether they'll be good or not.
Most coaches go undefeated, Max, from February to about August. Usually have pretty good records there.
No, they used to call me Mr. February, and then we didn't recruit as well. And then I said I couldn't even win in February. So that's what you get into when you start looking at recruiting.
And you address right there the perspective from the fans. I know it's difficult for many of these fan bases to have perspective, but how should fans view today?
I think they should view it if they had
Like, let me hit a
really good
Jeter
play.
short print.
And the other thing that we all know is those highlight films
But I
that
won't.
they show
I'll hit
are the best
Chase
final
Utley.
plays in kids' life. They don't show him broken. They don't show him getting hurt. They don't show him dropping passes. They don't show him missing the tackle. And the coaches know that he's got some warts, but the fans don't. Oh my God, he's a great one. It's unbelievable. This guy, this kid, and they always like the ones that are coming in better than the ones that are there because they know the ones that are there have the ones coming in. So it's always the new guy that's on the block. But in my estimation, if your team got a great player,
I'm pre-selling a lot of the Jeters at about $2 per.
A pass rusher, a corner or two, then you
That's good.
a really good year.
Hopefully I could sell all 50 that I hit at $2 per. And by 50 I mean about 60.
We've been entertained. We love
That would make
listening
me
to
happy.
his, perspective here, and you know, Danny, he's motioning, keep him going. Let's talk about it. Unfortunately for Danny, we're running out of time, Mac. My next question was going to be about the recruitment of Danny.
We don't have time. I can tell you.
Hey,
Let's just say that he went to Florida State, and I don't know about whether he signed autographs down there or not, but I've heard Danny's tough. Now Danny was an easy recruit because he looked at the school, he cared about academics, and ended up going where he felt like was the best place for him. He actually liked North Carolina a lot. He liked Michigan. He liked a lot of the things about different schools across the country, and he went to the one that was in state and closest to home. And if you really study kids, that's what they normally do. But I think we're seeing a trend where kids are traveling more, and I think the rules of trying to help the parents get there, the rules of cost of attendance that they're going to pay for guys to go to school further away and pay for that distance, I think that's probably going to have kids and parents looking at schools that are out of their state more often.
So many changes on the docket, certainly that will carry ramifications in the recruiting world. Mac Brown, appreciate that perspective very much.
Getting ready to hit my crappy patch insert soon. So the Jock Petersons for $1 each also.
I saw the talent I'd be playing with at Florida State. I knew it would be a lot easier to hand off to those guys than the guys I'd be playing with at Carolina here all week.
That's great. Look out west here. Go west, young man. Go west. That's where you want to go if you want to find some of the best classes in this 2015.
Here it is.
UCLA leading the way.
Nope.
Oregon there near the top as well. Mac Brown.
Baltimore Orioles gold.
National championship there with Texas. We now welcome in a man who just played for a national championship, coached for one less than 1 month ago. Mark Pepper to join us now, head coach of Oregon. Mark, gone now is Marcus Mariota, who won a Heisman Trophy. Is his replacement on campus or in this recruiting class?
We'll find out. We'll find out. The great Coach Hanson, right? It depends on what happens from now to fall camp and through.
There it
We
is.
certainly have a ton of confidence in the
Yu Darvish.
and the incoming guy Travis Waller, obviously.
None number.
Career. And then we got some huge, both literally huge guys to surround them, and some guys to make some plays on the outside.
There's another quarterback out there. I'm not going to mention his name. I'll be as very free-toppy on this conversation as I can. But would you care to look
Bogart's gold.
At different levels of football for another quarterback?
Well, we looked into it, and Danny Cannell was not available. He would be ineligible. He would be ineligible, but unfortunately, we can't make that happen.
Very good, very good. That's about all you can say right now. We look at the prospects here that have committed and signed with you. We saw defensive end Canton Kamatula, highest ranked play ever, according to Recruiting Nation here at ESPN, to commit to Oregon. What does he bring to your defense, and specifically that defensive line?
Well, yeah, we needed some depth up front. Losing Eric Armstead.
I'm curious to see how much these sell for.
Thing is kind of an underappreciated thing this time of year is keeping guys that have the potential to be big time NFL prospects with which DeForest Buckner has. Is big. His athleticism is really impressive, and now we just have to see what he is once he gets here. He's on campus. We had an opportunity to work out with those guys this morning, and really excited about all the early enrollees for what they did this morning. Was very impressive.
Of course, he is from Honolulu. Got sort of a pipeline there. Of course, Marcus Mariota from Hawaii as well. Oregon not known for a lot of top
high school players, at least not highly rated. How would you describe the challenges of trying to maintain a top program by going outside?
Was that you that posted that?
Region consistently.
That posted, I'm looking to buy anything of anybody.
Sitting with a guy,
Dummies.
Coach Galati, who helped make, expand the Oregon profile nationally. Rich Brooks did a little bit, and Coach.
Or did that person
Galati did
bump it?
more, Chip did it more, and now we'll go anywhere. And just the Oregon brand and our success both on the field and off has led guys to be attracted to it. And so we just have to make sure the biggest thing is still just getting the right guy, getting the guy that wants to come and maximize.
The guy can't even freaking spell vague right.
Players, and then, got some pretty good.
And his name is Buy Tons of Cards.
Mark, quickly, we got 15 seconds here. Watching
Dummy.
College football national championship game.
Another dummy on blowout.
Fan, some others may say there's something missing. There's one last ingredient to get Oregon over the hump. How do you respond to that? Is there one? What is it?
If it was one thing, I think that'd be pretty easy. But we had a phenomenal year. Our guys overcame a ton to get to that point. Very proud of them putting themselves in that situation. Absolutely did not end how we wanted it to, and we have to.
He'll be complaining that he can't make any deals soon. That's how it normally goes. Box number 3.
And do everything we can to control that.
Mark Elford, head coach of Oregon, top 15 class as it stands right now. Mark, thanks so much. Congratulations on the season that was. We're starting class that is.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for having me.
Mark Elford, great fine job there at Oregon. State did a great job this season as well. For college football playoff participants, Urban Meyer, the winner.
New York City is involved.
All right.
And we remember those who we lost and look back at their lives.
That's interesting. It's the first time I've had a card that was backwards. The second. The first time I had a backwards card, it was a Kershaw relic or manufactured relic. It's just weird.
You are watching ESPNU National Signing Day Special, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Nice foil card.
Signing day coverage, the drama nearly over. Let's head to the center of some of that drama today, the home of the fax machine at Auburn, for Ryan McGee standing by. Okay, here on the Plains, I'm proud to report the fax machine watch 2015 is over. Coach, you made it a little dramatic for us there. You actually got your fax from Byron Cowher just moments before you walked into your previously scheduled press conference, right?
Yeah, timing couldn't have been much better. Will gave me the heads up, hey, we got it. So, timing couldn't have been better.
Walk us through your day, because out here in the rest of the world, it got a little dramatic. Was everybody wondering what was going on? What was it like in the room waiting to mail this class?
Yeah, we felt very good about it all day. Obviously, exactly, early as we were expecting, but we felt very good about it. There wasn't any panic. That's where you wanted to be, and we knew it. And we're glad to finally have it over with.
All right, 25 players, 12 defense, 12 offense, and a kicker. That's about as balanced as you can get. Is that what you were shooting for?
Yeah, it really was. Defensively, guys to rush the pass. I mean, that was really our focus. We need some cover guys. We feel like we've got that accomplished. Offensively, a couple receivers, which we feel very good about that. And we need some depth up front, on offensive line. And you throw the punter in there, and it's pretty balanced.
We talked this morning about the needs, and you talked a lot about defense. And you mentioned the first thing in the press conference, rushing the passer. You feel a lot better about that tonight than you did this morning?
Yeah, I sure do. That was one of our deficiencies last year. Of course, we got Carl coming back, and we had these guys that can really rush the passer. I know Will's feeling very good about it right now, and that'll be very well for Saturday. That's fine.
You mentioned Will a couple times. I didn't bring him up. How big of an impact was it to bring him onto this staff to get this class going?
Well, it was huge. We got a he's the best defensive mind in all of football, I believe, and players see that. And they want to play for a guy like that. So the future's very bright on the defensive side of football.
The enthusiasm in the room, I was there when Cowher made his announcement. It happened again when the fax came in. A great class run. All right, thank you, Ryan. From the Plains to the Bayou, Baton Rouge, LSU, where we find Mickey Noto standing by with last year's #1 overall player.
So right now, I'm joined by none other than the tailback, Leonard Fournette. Well, actually, 2 times. You're behind me right here, too. Last year, you were the #1 recruit in the nation. You've been to this process before. What did you guys think?
It's one of the most important days of their lives. Whatever else the rest of the 4 years, college, for the next 2 years. So it's not really about sports, it's career education too. So that's what you have to look at.
Well, you're also going to be looking at your brother, your little brother, Lamar. He's coming to LSU. Do you have any pull of getting your little brother to be an LSU tackle?
I told him, just flew him once again. So I just told him, whatever decision you make, just make sure it's the best decision for you and not somebody else. So he said, LSU on the side of the field.
You think it's the best decision? I love it. Well, let's talk about next season. What are your expectations? I mean, a lot of people are talking about a little bit of this action. That was my best Heisman attempt. What are your thoughts for next year?
Next year, this to get better, have a better record. When those young guys come in, young guys will be hope they're ready.
And how about these tailbacks that are coming in? What's your #1 piece of advice for them right now?
Stay put. There's a lot. The transitions will be a lot.
Transitions fast, just like you. Thanks for joining us.
All right, from LSU to Texas A&M.
Still no color. I haven't seen a shirt print. I haven't really been looking too hard.
I'm here with head coach of Texas A&M, Kevin Sumlin.
Coach, another extremely impressive.
Haven't seen a
recruiting
sparkle, but again, haven't been looking so hard.
How do you feel like you stacked up against the rest of the SEC?
You know, it's every year we look at it, we do pretty well, but you know, when you're fourth or fifth in your own league, sometimes in your own division, you got work to do. This is not only a talent league, but a talent and depth league. You know, we had a lot of guys that played last year, 10 or 14 of the freshmen that we signed. Good thing about that is they'll be sophomores this year with some experience. But a lot of these guys will come in and help us out next year and create the depth that we need, I think, to really step up
Puig
and
jersey.
compete for championships. The last 2 years, we've gone out and gotten. You know, top
I'm sure there's an insert somewhere that I missed.
He's just a really type of talent inside. He brings to the table winning. And, you know, being able to do that, some guys just have a knack for that. You know, Kyler is arguably one of the better players ever played in the state of Texas at quarterback. You know, he's a guy that's, his dad played here, and a legacy. Again, we're happy to have that. We got settled down. Another one of those guys in recruiting that made things interesting at the end, but chose to be an Aggie for all the right reasons.
Now, 10 of the 10 SEC schools are in the top 20 in the class rankings, including Georgia. Sarah Beduano standing by.
An interesting note about Georgia running back Nick Chubb. He actually
there it is.
not the highest ranked running back in his class. When you look back at that process, Nick, what do you remember most about the recruitment process and what brought you to Georgia?
Like a long time ago, it was just last year at this same time that I was starting to hear to Georgia, and yeah, I looked at showing everybody that we're gonna play hard.
This is probably my framed card.
I'm very excited.
Last time
Connor
I saw you were setting
Galapsi.
a record in the Belk Bowl, a couple of touchdowns, big win over Louisville.
2 whole cards in the
Also,
back.
you ended up with the 4th best rushing season in Georgia history, and the first 3 belong to Herschel Walker. How does it feel to be in that elite company?
Hopefully somebody out there wants Connor Galapsi. Galapsi, whatever his name is. Cool card, bad
When you
name.
think about what Georgia wants to achieve next season, what comes to mind?
Some things that we're working hard on championship when it comes to mind, but that's a long ways away. You know, got a lot of things to do before we get there, but we're working very hard.
And I know that you're a young man who wants to set some personal goals for himself as well. What would you like to achieve next year?
Well, first, I already talk about myself. Everybody go out there and play hard. Play hard every snap, win every game, and hopefully eventually that leads up to something very special.
And as you know, Nick Chubb, one of a pack of running backs that a lot of people think Georgia might have the best running backs in the nation come next season.
All right, thank you, Carol. Look at the most ESPN 300 prospects in the Big Ten since 2012. Ohio State certainly leading the way. 12 of those coming this season. Penn State with 16. 9 of those coming this season. But back to the Buckeyes and back to Columbus. Quick Pesnick standing by.
Coach, what's it mean to have a top 10 recruiting class and the highest recruiting class in the Big Ten?
Oh, it means a great day on signing date. It means a lot of people around Columbus, Ohio, and Buckeye Nation are excited. And it usually means you got good players, but it's certainly not the end all. I mean, you got to develop them, and there's mistakes in there. There's guys that Darren Lees of the world that maybe were under-evaluated and are underdeveloped, not underevaluated, because kids' bodies that's what's so different about college itself. They get right in the middle of the growth spurt. So it just means it's a great day today, but I think every coach realizes that once tomorrow we're not talking about what we were ranked.
What's the value of recruiting compared to development compared to leadership?
And you can't separate one from the other. And I have it, I'm going to share with our coaches tomorrow in the state of Ohio, and I share with our staff all the time. You can go out and recruit at Ohio State and win you 7 games just because you recruit well. But without discipline, you stop about there. You might get 8, 9 with some discipline, but to measure yourself for rings and great bowl games, great bowl victories, come from behind victories, surviving adversity. And I've never believed it. I've always believed it, but not to the extent now with all leadership. And this is great, but this is great conversation. How much corporate America spends millions of dollars on leadership? College football spends minimal. Why?
What's the mindset of your team as winter conditioning started this week?
It's good. You know, I worry about their fatigue with our, you know, I leave with up to our strength coach a lot. I haven't been around the players while we've been gone. Our staff's been gone. So I can't wait to get out. That's like the reward, the cherry on top is to be able to see our players. And when I did find out, our players are the best recruiters. Some of the
Box
best
4.
recruiters I've been around. This class, Mike Weber,
What's your focus on over the next month or so?
I have to really, you know, we have a new coach, some offense, quarterback coach, who's going to help the quarterback, but we're not going to change much on offense. It's more getting around the players. I have to make sure that play well into January. The coaching staff has had 0 time with the fan base. I want to make sure that, you know, we don't become a grind. Anybody grind. I want to make sure we still want players.
What's important to understand about the quarterback battle? Cardale, Braxton, JT, and you'll have some freshmen coming in August.
Very good players. You know, I don't know. The interesting thing is 2 of them won't be full go through spring practice. You know, JT Barrett will throw. Cardale's going to be full speed. And then you got 2 bucks coming in that want to go play. So it's going to be highly competitive.
What did you learn at Florida that prepares you for this in terms of being a champion and trying to come back the next year?
Well, you just have to have your radar up. You know, every team's different. I remember following the 06 National Championship. We lost our whole team, and we struggled a little bit the next year. The 08 team lost no one. And we came back, and I think we won 22 straight games. And we had our issues, but it was a great team. I just have to, I look back now, what if I took the enjoyment out of that? Because I was, you know, we grinded them now. And if it wasn't, you know, that the term perfection is something that I'm never going to use that word again. You know, and that was a word that was our goal, perfection. And that's unattainable. So enjoy the process, enjoy the moment, get better every day, but also enjoy the moment.
Certainly a coach that has built this program through recruiting. Ohio State certainly leading the way in the Big Ten this season. Torrance Gibson, number 2 athlete, against third with a couple of other teams. They're at LSU, they're at Auburn, lots to play quarterback. There's a log jam, I guess you could say, in Columbus coming up this season. He referenced Mike Weber from Cass Tech in Detroit, goes into Michigan, takes out one of the top running backs in the state of Michigan, and goes to play in the state of Arkansas, wide receiver KJ Hill. You look, quarterbacks, why not? Have 7, have 12 of them. Joe Burrow, dual threat quarterback from the state of Ohio, is there as well. Like you heard the interview there, what is going to be Urban Meyer's biggest challenge this season coming off the top?
You know, there's 2 things. One is just the quarterback situation, because you've got a lot of talented athletes. You have somebody in Braxton Miller that's a 2-time player of the year in the conference and offense. And I think he's probably the odd man out in that group. But I think there's other places for an offensive. The other thing is just to see, when you talk about the difference between grinding and enjoying and recognizing you need family time, and you need to play it to not be too fatigued. How many times have played 15 games in the season, all the way into January, and the reality is they've got to take time to recover. Their bodies don't come back as fast. So you have to ease into the off season, but you have to make it just as important. So the focus has to stay there, but the intensity may be able to be a little bit less at this point of the season. Complacency, you know, that's always a tough one, keeping these guys motivated, wanting to put in the extra work, playing with that chip on their shoulder. But going back to the quarterback,
That's not a bad one.
It's going to be a real challenge. Not only just
Better than the other ones that I hit.
3 quarterbacks and figuring out
And it's a
which one's gonna
triple.
be your guy.
Hernandez, Sale, and Kluber.
But also, it happens. You see guys in the locker room start to back one guy. Maybe he was their guy. Maybe they got the ball more if it's a wide receiver. Or they played better within that system when Cardale Jones was in there as opposed to JT Barrett. So a lot of different dynamics, not just between those 3, but how it can impact an entire offense and entire team that have to play out for Ohio State.
You got hype, you have overexposure, you have complacency, as you referenced, and I think one of the biggest ways that you deal with that is you allow a little.
It's better than the other two acetates that I hit. That one's of 10.
About how great last year was. Every single offseason.
Can't complain when you beat the odds with the numbers. Just wish that you had better players. Like if that were just a Felix or just a Sale, it would be a much better card. Hell, just a Kluber at this point. But the triple should still be a $25 or $30 card, I think. Who knows? It'll be up for auction probably tomorrow with a Sunday end date.
That has to prove people right. Yeah. Because your expectations.
Which is tougher to motivate guys that way. It's a lot easier to get them to buy into proving people wrong than it is to, hey, let's keep it going.
We get disrespected. No, you didn't.
Lose Braxton Miller, lose to Virginia Tech, lose JT Barrett. Keep proving people wrong. We'll see the opposite.
Yeah, you can't complain.
Speaking of the Big Ten,
No, I'm not complaining that I hit a printing plate 1 of 1. It's just not a valuable card. Tops, you don't really do well with the. If you're trying to.
Offense. This is an offense.
Kershaw cleared a win right of gold. If you're trying to make money with Top Series 1, 2, or Update, it's not going to be on hitting a $250, $300, $400 card. Happens you're in bonus world. It's going to be grinding out the insert sets. It's going to be grinding out the player lots, team sets, stuff like that. That's how you make money with Top Series 1. The hits, all bonuses.
Pair of sons of NFL stars also in this year's.
It's going to be willing to do the work to grind it out.
And Tyrone Wheatley Jr. In Ann Arbor, Pedro Gomez, ESPN.
thank you, Pedro. Again, one of the big first commits for Jim Harbaugh. Zach Gentry getting him to flip from Texas. But we all know this game is a quarterback-driven sport. What does Zach Gentry flip mean to Michigan?
I think it just adds more stability and depth to a position that's going to have some question marks. They got to have more productivity out of the quarterback position. But this class for Michigan and Jim Harbaugh and his newly minted staff, the focus needs to be about who they got, not who they weren't able to get or who they weren't able to be in contact with or generate a relationship with.
If I make between the different inserts, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 insert sets in this thing. If I make an average of 10 sets per,
15 class for Penn State. A lot to celebrate there.
and sell them at an average of $5, $6 each.
Now that we're out of the war room and the dust has settled, here's a look at
Make that, sorry, so I have 80 sets. Say I hit, say something average $10 each. That's $800.
300 recruits the Nittany Lions landed.
That's before anything else. That's half my money back just with insert sets, and that's selling them at a low average. Because even the crappy ones that sell at $10, and then the better ones, I've sold a bunch at $25. That sell 15 to 20.
Told me it's like we have a new, fresh, entire defense coming in, and on the other side of the ball, Gaddis said they have two physical, big, Megatron-like receivers in Juwan Johnson and Irvin Charles. As head coach James Franklin told us, there's a rejuvenated type of energy now.
Say I hit 30 of the,
In-state college, Britt McHenry, ESPN.
30 of those $10 cards.
Last week, asked him about the scholarships being
It's all money.
It's a little misleading. You take us a little bit more to get back up to the 25.
It is. I want to go back. Jim Harbaugh faces a huge issue, but he's made
Kershaw Gold.
when he took over Penn State. It's not about who you don't have or didn't get. It's about who you have and how to make those guys successful right now. And James Franklin, like I said, he's a great recruiter. I mean, he will get kids. And you're right. It's too early to say around because they got the notice when sometime during the season.
I've sold 2 or 3 sets so far. It's a 15-card set. I've sold 3 sets, I think, for $25 each pre-sale. I'll end up with, I hit 56 of them in the first case, so I figured I'll hit like 9 sets maybe, 8 or 9 sets. That's anywhere from $100 to $200.
That was the biggest guarantee Christian Hackenberg had as a true freshman compared to the one last year. The common denominator there was different.
I think if Christian Hackenberg was on the phone now, he would agree with that. They filled up that offensive line. Certainly that is what James Franklin attempted to do with this signing class. LSU, every year, replenish the bases there at LSU after they've had some early departures, as they do typically every season. Mickey Noto standing by with one of the lead recruiters in that move.
And right now, I'm with Coach Ed Orgeron in the war room here. Coach, you got him. How'd you do it? And how does he fit into your defensive line?
Well, we're excited about him. You know, Artie comes from a great family. We just had a tremendous connection, a tremendous visit. It's a school that he always wanted to come to. And you could just tell when he walked in the Tiger Stadium, he's a cat.
I see people selling singles also for like $10, $20.
We expect him to play next year, and we expect him to work very hard this spring and the summer to be ready.
Well, Coach, how do you move forward with next year without signing a defensive tackle at this time?
Well, we gave deep. We had some young players that played very well last year. We had some guys in the redshirt that here. We think they're going to be great players. Obviously, we always
Hey, listen, there's no guarantee you make money buying and selling and opening and doing any of that stuff, but if there's a set that's pretty close, it's Topps based stuff. Especially when you do, to me, especially when you do hobby boxes, because you're not worried about the hits.
Louisiana, man. How does it feel to be back in college football? Ended LSU.
First of all, I'm honored to be here. I'm very thankful to Coach Miles and Coach Wilson, let me on the staff here. I am representing the people of Louisiana just like we all are. All the great players, all the great coaches that I've coached here before. It's just been a blast. The people in Louisiana.
I haven't made my Cruddy patch or my Cruddy auto yet. Oh, there it is. Oh. Carlos Santana.
Like no one else can.
Sounds like I need to come back for an LSU tailgate. Thanks so much, Coach, and good luck this year.
Thank you.
You know his Red Bull is spiking the gumbo, right? Yeah.
What a great trifecta to have there with Kevin Steele and, of course, Frank Wilson as well. Alabama's got a good staff there as well. They showed off today. Another number one recruiting class. And Florida outside the top 40 to in the top 20. What a day it was.
I have a feeling these call your shot cards are going to sell for 50 cents to $1 each also.
And weighed only 3 pounds. This is the view I had of her, and then my view. My tip to you is speaking of the opening for your baby, can you hear you,
You can quit. Talk with your doctor. For more help, call 1-866-NY-QUIT.
Barry, time is running out. According to my calculations, 1 in 5 kids in America struggles with hunger. How can so many children face hunger when there's more than enough food to feed them all?
All right, end of box number 4.
Hunger by teaming up with Feeding America to get food to hungry kids in communities across the country.
Help Flint and food bank get food to people who need it in your community. Find your local Feeding America food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
Together, we're Feeding America.
This is the moment I need. His future had no boundaries.
All right, back in the set.
There are some moments when the fullest satisfied. Find yours at discoverthefullest.org. Everybody has a dream. Mine was
Quick check on blowout. Box 5. It's nice to just hit one monster though to make you feel better about this stuff. I'll tell you, I think this gallery of the great sets are going to sell for 15 to 20 each also. The stamp buybacks usually get about $3 to $5 each. Sell them is a lot, maybe $2.50, $3 each. All adds up.
Welcome back to ESPNU National Signing Day Special, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
And Auburn, they got the number one player in the country before the defensive end. Auburn University. I'll be further in my education and athletics at University of Florida. I'm taking my talent to the University of Mississippi.
But if this time you take my talent to Texas A&M University,
I want to the University of Florida. Yes, sir. How you tidy? South Carolina. I don't want to go and stay in Alabama, because I want to stay in Florida. Tell us why you have Chucky with us and why he's instrumental to your playing style.
yeah, man, Chucky will be having a great relationship with college kids.
And Bobby Ballard, you officially have a good relationship, or at least a relationship with Auburn as his letter of intent went in. Chucky can't write that. This is true. That letter would have got sooner. Again, I would mess with Chucky. Again, Byron Coward.
We got Black.
Announced this morning.
Corey Dickerson. This is the second time that the Rockies follow me around in Top Stuff.
They've ever gotten since ESPN started ranking players in 2006. And Jim McElwain threw nice comeback kicks today from outside the top 40 to inside the top 20, getting 2 5-star recruits. Marte Ivy, the offensive tackle, Jefferson, the defensive end, deciding to stay home. So the top 5, as it is right now, will likely end the day as such. Alabama 1, there you see USC as well, 6 through 10. Ohio State, Texas, Auburn with the official addition of Byron Coward, Georgia, and LSU into the top 10. 10 teams in the Southeastern Conference in the top 6 of the top 10. Matt Schick, Hall of Famer Mike Bellotti, future Hall of Famer Craig Howard, and Tom Luginbill is here as well on our ESPN Signing Day special. So let's start, guys, with the team at the top. They've been at the top every single year. It's Alabama. Craig, welcome to this part of the show. What stands out about the class?
Well, first of all, it's consistency. They got off to a fast start. Not only did they on course to sign the 4th straight #1 overall class, but in the 2015 cycle, they went wire to wire. The very first release of the class rankings for 2015 was past spring. Alabama was at #1, and now they're going to finish at #1. That shows outstanding consistency because in recruiting, there's a lot of ebb and flow. We've seen decommitments and changing their minds and flips, and Alabama suffered some of that as well. But the talent at the top with players like Blake Barnett, the quarterback position, going into the state of Texas, the cornerback for Kendall Sheffield, and then going up into New Jersey to also add Minkah Fitzpatrick. They've shown the ability to close at home. Deron Payne grew up an Auburn fan, wound up committing a signing with Alabama to stay in state and to once again go to other states to get their best players is why Alabama once again is sitting with another #1 class.
And you look at the quarterback position, Ricky Town was once committed to Alabama, now they're at USC, opening the door for Blake Barnett, and boy, certainly Alabama with a big get. They were #1 pocket passing quarterback. What exactly are they getting in Tuscaloosa time?
Well, if Lane Kiffin's going to be the offensive coordinator, this is a really good fit from skill set to scheme, and he can do this. He can extend plays, and that's something we saw a little bit of that with Blake Sims this year, and we saw it make a big difference. It doesn't have to change the identity of your offense. It can add to the identity of your offense. And so the ability to throw the football, create plays and things break down, and really and even be a designated runner if you want him to be that guy, I think brings a skill set that they haven't had.
I think one of the real interesting pickup too throughout the day was Daylon Charlotte,
This is a player who they have committed, lost at one point during the process, but ultimately they're able to bring him back into the fold. Les Miles, LSU do an outstanding job of keeping top talent at home in the state of Louisiana. The one program that has consistently been able to give them trouble in their own backyard has been Alabama, and Charlotte is yet another player out of the state of Louisiana where it looked like maybe he might head back to his home, ultimately able to end up with him as a part of that class.
Yeah, Charlotte, top 60 player, one of the top wideouts from Patterson, Louisiana. And again, you always see a lot of single digits in the position rankings when it comes to Alabama's recruiting classes. We see Blake Barnett, Kendall Sheffield there as well, one of the top star guys. Deron Payne as well, a guy who committed All-American game in Orlando. Big guy, defensive tackle. Who does he remind you of?
But this guy, he's a load. A lot of the NFL coaches.
Condominium?
Condominium? Yeah, he's kind of like Jerry Ball was. And a lot of the NFL coaches on there at Walt Disney World were looking at this guy and saying, whoa, is he a stout guy at the point of attack? We saw Daylon Mack earlier, and Coach, you were watching him on tape going, oh, man, this guy's a heavy reserve.
I want to give you guys a chance to see some other fighters out there that are non-SEC folks watching here going, you know what? Alabama, position ranks, they're going to be rated high because they're a good program. When Alabama offers a prospect, you guys are going to give them the benefit of the doubt. How do you respond to that?
Well, listen, one thing, they kind of go hand in hand. Alabama has shown an outstanding job of handling the evaluation process. Nick Saban, since he has taken that job, has really been ahead of the curve in how he handle those type of things. So naturally, they're not going to waste their time offering players that they don't feel to compete at a program where it's consistently contending for national championships. As we go through the process ourselves and look at these prospects, we don't always.
I think he'll shoot up in the next 2 months, and then he'll settle down. By the end of the year, be back to where he started the year at best. In the league.
But they're usually looking at good players. We're looking at good players.
He's got to come in and be a freaking monster. You have to remember that he's at least a year. I don't know the exact date, but he's close to, if not at least a year, older than Harper and Trout, and hasn't played a day in the major leagues.
All the schools that are looking at the guy. He's a really, really good player, and you've graded him as such. Now all of a sudden Alabama offers him. He's still the same player that you evaluated before Alabama offered him. Nothing's changed. Are you getting paid anymore if you like five or six to Alabama? No, me neither. I want to check my mailbox, but no, I wasn't getting less cents in my check. I don't know karate. You're not. Listen. And the other thing, and maybe I'm missing something. Alabama has not won any championships in the last couple of years. The results of the players.
If I could buy him low, I'd buy him. I have a pending offer with somebody that has actually disappeared, which is the most annoying thing ever. For one of the Brian Autos.
Process and to the developmental process once you get in school. It's hard to be a number one recruiting class 4 years in a row because people recruit against you with the fact that you can't go there, you don't get a chance, you're not going to get a chance to play as much. And he overcomes that by saying you want to go and go.
Kenneth Gold.
You're gonna have that opportunity every single day.
You just have base of him though, right? You don't have. Do you have any autos of him?
Something he has handled very, very well, and I trust that they are as good offense as
well, and we're using Alabama as an example here, but look at the numbers. The teams, Auburn has signed the number one ranked and number two ranked player in the country in the last 3 years. All right, Carl Lawson and Byron Coward. Carl Lawson jumped on the field and he was the best passer on that team with 2 freshmen. They missed him last year. So Carl Lawson would have been the same guy had he signed with Miami or had he signed with Ole Miss. So it doesn't matter who they sign with. The guys are what they are.
Terry Beckner is going to remain number 2, even though he's signed with 2 days.
Yeah, they're up like $2 or $3 in a lot for sure.
Obviously, people who aren't familiar with the rankings will look and say, okay, do you
maybe more than that? I don't even know what they go for now.
Because of the magnitude.
I think that's a decent card to hold. You're not going to get hurt on it.
Well, let's hit on that because you talk about the magnitude of offer. All right. Well, what is an offer? Is the offer stipulated upon coming to camp? Is it stipulated?
Machado Gold.
Okay, 11. So, or do you have to go on an unofficial visit? Where is the offer? How real is the offer? And more importantly, if you're, let's just say, one of the top running backs in the country.
Oh, lovely. Another brown patch.
Where are you ranked on each one of those teams' boards? I can promise you, you're not the top-ranked running back on every single one of those two boards. You might be the fifth on one board, the seventh on the other. You might be the third. Everybody.
Did you get something you wanted out of it? That's the thing. How much? What are you holding it for?
And
If you got $20 or $15 or $25 a couple of years ago, now it's $35. It's a $10 difference over a couple of years. How's the difference? Now it's Chart Auto you're talking about that went up a couple $100. That's a difference.
Once again, now you have to go out and find why, find the missing pieces, educate yourself more.
Another lovely box down.
Indicators, so maybe needing to go do more research throughout the process.
Alabama may be signing more finished products at this point. This is a snapshot in time after their high school senior year. And in fact, actually, they haven't finished their senior year. And some of them are already enrolled out of Alabama. It's more about what they do from here on out. And generally, Alabama has proven that they have taken the right people because they won on the field with those guys.
It's just a shade over 10 hours to hit a nerve. I'm so glad we finally did it here on
You're back. Feel free to ask me anything. I'll come back and answer. Just gotta get another drink.
Alabama, top-rated class. You can find LSU in the top 10 as well. Let's tour around the country, beginning in Baton Rouge with Nikki Nolan.
Well, it's been an exciting day down here in Baton Rouge and for the LSU Tigers. A big grab today was RDT, the defensive end. This player was to the wire, and they get Coach Steele and Coach Steele a lot of credit for getting him to be a Tiger. And they were also talking about how they really needed solidarity and depth on the offensive line. The O-line, well, they gained 5 guys, including 5-star Maya Tahuma, that they're really, really excited about. The O-line is only returning 3 starters, but as you well know how it goes in the SEC, these linemen, they get banged up. So all of the linemen need to be ready to compete and contribute. I mean, LSU, they got defensive backs, they got tailbacks, and they got a 5-starter in Tyron Johnson that they're really excited about. They're even comparing him to Odell Beckham Jr. They said today it was all about getting their needs met and quality over quantity.
Odell Beckham Jr., pretty lofty comparison. Did they get the next degree on quality at South Carolina? Eddie Schraub, capping the net in Columbia.
South Carolina is hoping to secure its 7th consecutive top 25 class. The 2015 class, headlined by 5 ESPN 300 recruits, although none were ranked in the top 100. There was a clear emphasis on finding pass rushers. 5 defensive ends signed with South Carolina today. One of the headliners last year, the 18th rated defensive end in the ESPN 300. Also,
I like the design. I don't like plain, boring white stuff, so I like it. I think the parallels actually look really cool.
Of course, the quarterback position will be heavily skewed in spring. This class will only 1 QB this class.
Class in South Carolina, top 25 as we stand right now. That was a banner class with Butch Jones from Tennessee, Tony Barnhart.
Tennessee's been 12-13 in the past 2 seasons. Haven't really spent 1 day in the top 25, but right now you would be hard-pressed to see a fan base more excited than those of the Tennessee Volunteers. They were here at 6:30 this morning to watch Tennessee sign the 2nd straight top 5 recruiting class. So when they came started back in this recruiting class...
Which inserts are you talking about?
This class went specifically to need with impact players. Khalil McKenzie out of California, a defensive lineman. Alvin Kamara, an early signee, one of the top junior college running backs in the country. Preston Williams, wide receiver from the Atlanta area.
You know the parallels or the inserts?
So when you look at it, Tennessee, in some minds, will be a dark horse to win the SEC East.
Well, Tennessee certainly finishing the season strong with that bowl win over Iowa. Florida hoping for better things ahead. Maybe it started today with a nice recruiting bump. For Rutledge is in Gainesville.
Well, Jim McElwain was in a great mood at his press conference to finish the day today, and it's understandable because of the way he finished strong with his 2015 recruiting class. The ball started rolling with 5-star offensive tackle Martez Ivey, a huge gift for Florida at a position of need on the offensive line. They're hoping he can contribute early on for the Gators, and he has the tools to potentially do so. Then there's 5-star defensive end Keith Jefferson verbally announcing for Florida. He's also for somebody they're hoping can have an immediate impact with the tools he brings to the table. And then a few other
Kipnis
guys to keep
Gold.
in mind. 2 4-star running backs, Jordan Cronkite and also Jordan Scarlett. They've got speed. They've got some dynamic ability at the running back position. And of course, a 4-star wide receiver out of Miami, Antonio Callaway, another player that Coach McElwain is hoping they can have an early impact from here at Florida. Definitely a day for McElwain and company to be proud of as they look forward into the future here at Florida.
Thank you, Lance. Florida starting the day outside the top 40, and a lot of cause for concern there in Gainesville, especially when the number one prospect, Byron Cowart, puts on that Auburn hat. Jeffrey Holland puts on that Auburn hat, but then the ball started to roll there with Martez Ivey. How'd they do today, Alex?
Outstanding. You think about the way Jim McElwain was able to close with this class. You know, he really got into a hot streak down the end of the month of January. Kind of went into National Signing Day week with Jordan Scarlett, the former Miami University commit, the running back, and then into National Signing Day, as you mentioned, Matt. There was kind of that talk going into signing day about potentially Jeffrey Holland, CeCe Jefferson, Byron Cowart all wanting to play together. So for Gator fans, when they saw, you mentioned Cowart go to Auburn, and then Holland go to Auburn, would it be CeCe Jefferson as well? But he was able to break that, stayed with the Gators, and then Martez Ivey was absolutely huge. Those are two defensive makers on each side of the ball. If you look at Martez Ivey, you need an offensive tackle. He is a little bit raw as a pass protector just from the scheme that he comes from. But he's very agile. He's a natural knee bender. If you look at that length, it is almost otherworldly how long this young man is. As he continues to fill out that frame and just get more experience, he's only going to get better. And he's so athletic that he'll be able to survive. There's going to be some rough patches, but if they need to throw him into the fire as a freshman, he is talented enough to be able to do that. So those two guys really helped catapult this class up the rankings on National Signing Day.
If you're a Florida fan, what are you thinking today?
You're wiping your brow and saying, you know what, that was good stuff. I don't think any Florida fan going into this thing felt really good about Florida coming out and sweeping, or really maybe might have anticipated the possibility they lose out on all of them. And so you've got to feel really good about the job Jim McElwain did and the Florida staff. It's a win-win for Auburn fans and Florida fans. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you think about what was a situation, and we had even talked about going into on the preview show that something is better than nothing. And that's exactly what Jim McElwain was able to do today, because they were in a situation where throughout most of the process, Florida was never able to gain any momentum, with Will Muschamp under scrutiny, then ultimately being let go, and then the coaching change. But to be able to at least finish with two of those guys was big. But they maybe, as Tommy mentioned, potentially looking at a situation, we had all these guys that seemed like a lock for Florida, maybe going to other SEC schools, and 3 or 4 years from now, you look at them and you go, what could have been? He salvaged his class very well, and you got to really take, and you look at Jim McElwain and go, now you really start to evaluate what he can do once he's able to put together a full class. You're right. I think he broke even.
Cody Allen, Snow Camo.
Anytime you get it, they lost some kids, but the reality is he didn't have a lot of time, and I think he and his staff acquitted themselves well.
Will Muschamp, not at Florida, not at Auburn.
Still not hitting names.
Playing a major role today in the future of college football. We hear the chimes, more ESPN 300 prospects signing on the dotted line, getting those letters in. We'll let you know what that was. No, don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pacemaker getting wrong.
I know you get concerned about that every time. Who's that guy on TV? Dropping. Oh, how dare you go Christmas story on us here? That is,
No, I'm in Colorado Buffalo.
Recruiting Nation. Recruiting Nation writers have been scouring, writing, Danny Delaney as well. Josh Parcell, keeping an eye on social media.
That's right, Matt. I'm the social media coordinator here on signing day, and it's been a crazy day. Social media is getting bigger and bigger every year on signing day. I've been on my phone all day. It's hard to keep up with all the tweets that have been coming through. So let's recap some of the biggest stories that we've seen throughout the day. It started this morning with Byron Cowart, the number 1 overall prospect, committing to Auburn, and Will Muschamp, the former Florida quarterback, was ecstatic. You see his reaction right there. Not so ecstatic. The rest of the room was going crazy with Will Muschamp. Maybe a little hard feelings for Florida. Maybe a coach going Gainesville. I don't know.
but the internet went crazy with that one. Now, you know how. He didn't send in his letter of intent until. Oh, we lost his mic. We got it back. Josh Parcell. This was we saw that with Will Muschamp. We noticed that. You think we forgot who coached for a second?
I wasn't sure if he knew there was still, it wasn't a done deal yet. He didn't get really excited. Maybe he just assumed maybe there's a little bit more here than we all know.
I love it.
Yeah, hey, what do you say when you get in the end zone and act like you've been there before? He's like, hey, this is what I do. I bring in 5-star prospects. But maybe he didn't hear it exactly. Late, you know.
There we go. Oh, the cameras are on. We didn't do the cameras in the war room. The reaction shots like we did in the studio. That was a good one. A good one there with Will Muschamp. Gus Malzahn there, and that was some terrific reaction there. So, to put a bow on what the role Will Muschamp played today on signing day was what?
I think really parlaying the established relationships for the previous 15 to 18 months with a variety of prospects. And I think if you go back 6 months from right now, they're all Florida wins. And if you place any stock in the established relationships in the recruiting process, this made sense.
All right, we want to get back to the social media aspect of this. Let's get back to Josh Parcell. Microphone working. That's always a good thing in TV. Josh.
Yeah, we're good now. You guys couldn't keep me quiet for too long. So back to Byron Cowart. All Auburn wanted him to do was press send on that fax machine today. And finally, around 4 o'clock, it came.
I think I finally got a cool card.
He created a parody Twitter account for Cowart's fax machine. The letter of intent tweeted, "It's so hot in this fax machine.
Apple founded genuine U.S. postage stamp 9 of 10. That's a cool card.
All the Tigers fans are happy. That was obviously the biggest story of the day. But
I don't know what that's
also,
worth, but
blow
that's a
up
cool
the
card.
road in Tennessee. Preston Williams, the number 5 wide receiver in the nation. He's a Tennessee commit, and he signed his letter of
It's
intent.
numbered 9 of 10.
It was a white suit, no face mask on his Tennessee helmet. It looked very good, but Butch Jones, he might have had an even better outfit with the bucket hat. This was a great picture we saw today. Butch Jones, a great recruiting class, and he was just too impressed, just like his recruiting class this year. But I'm going to go to the tweet of the day. That's J.J.
Oh, look, Eric Sogard.
Houston Texans defensive end. Should have been the MVP if you ask me. But he said after a signing day today, annual reminder that it's not all about how many stars you have or how many cameras show up at your signing day. It's what you do next. Great message from J.J. Watt, a former 0-star recruit in ESPN 300. He was ranked number 172 at his position going to Central Michigan. Ended up in Wisconsin. I think it turned out okay for him. So obviously, it was a great day on signing day. That's enough.
Thank you, Josh. Social media certainly has changed a lot here on National Signing Day, the landscape of recruiting. One thing that's not changed, Florida State, once again.
Not sure if that's a bonus hit or if it replaces the basic patch that I've been hitting. I don't know. Find out.
Half hour left here on National Signing Day special.
I guess that's a good way to end the first half of this marathon break.
Plot twist. Who's your turtle? Huh?
Introducing the hair-raising power and performance of the Mercedes-AMG GT. It's no fairy tale.
Introducing the City Double Cash Card. It's cash back with a side of cash back. With local funding and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn on purchases, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
Dove Menopause Care. Care makes a man stronger.
Oh, the basketball. Fuck it. I want to get it running.
Of Miracles and Men, Sunday at 9 on ESPN.